And now here we go again.
It's time for another episode of Those Smack Talking Guys. Full of opinions on games, music, culture, and current events. These guys cover it all while humiliating each other.
He looks like a mechanic right now, too. Are you a mechanic?
No, I'm a general contractor. I'm not a mechanic, though.
Oh.
But I've been known to wrench on things.
Say what?
This is Generation Flip. Don't forget, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And now, crapping it up, here's your hosts.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Another wonderful afternoon on Friday. Open mic, open topics. We got my boy from San Jose, Mr. Big Brown.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, man, exciting day today. We got a good buddy of mine in the studio today. We got Danny Boyle. Danny, say hello to everybody.
Hello, all right. My boy from New York, my cuz, Brandon Bash. He's on Twitch. Check him out. So we got a good open topic, pretty much. If you're coming on live, hit the chat. If you're catching us later down the road, go ahead and hit a comment. I read every comment, and we'll get back to you as soon as we could. Again, we had a successful Monday. I know it was off the schedule, but we did pick up Dorchen Leitholt, number one activist in the nation, and she holds a big law firm up in New York City. So, it was a real success podcast show. You haven't seen that, tune that, check that out, video on our channel, Generation Flip. So tell me what you thought about that last show, Mr. Brown over here.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was something that needed to get out. Women's rights, the sexual abuse, the things that are going on, especially with COVID time. It was definitely something that we needed to get out. And I feel really good about that show. Breaking the Silence was our topic, or the name of the show. And hopefully it touched a lot of people and enlightened a lot of people, especially with Miss Leitholt.
Leitholt, yeah.
Leitholt, she, the number one activist in actually the world. She's doing a lot of good things to help a lot of good women. And that was, I know for a fact that was important, especially me having two girls. I want to be able to see the signs of what's going on with them. I want to be able to touch base on a day-to-day basis. Danny's got a few girls. I think we all got girls in our lives, and we want to make sure that they're treated properly. And that's the thing. We want to make sure we can find these signs, and we want to be able to have that open communication with our kids. Whether I'm 100 years old and my daughter's 60, I want that open communication. Whether she's 2 and I'm 53, it doesn't matter. I want that. And that's the support net that they have to have. So great show. I'm looking forward to today's show. And if anybody wants to still need to reach out about any of that activist information or where we can help them at, please don't hesitate, whether it's this show or the next shows. Right. But on to this show. Special guest Danny Boyle. Let me give you guys a little bit of intro on Danny. Undrafted out of college. Played in the NHL for 18 years, people. 18. And he still looks that. And he's still got all his teeth. Let me see that grill, Danny. He's still, Danny's a good dude, man. He's a down to earth professional in all aspects of life. And that's one of the things that really I gravitated towards him, because he's a good person, man. Some of these guys, they come out of hockey or any professional sport and they get really flamboyant. This cat's the straightest shooter. A good dude. I can't say any more about him, but as far as his illustrious career, 18 years, guys did it. He's done it. If you're going to be a hockey player or any professional athlete, you want the big one, right? Well, he got the big one. Yeah. He got the Stanley Cup with Tampa Bay. He got the gold medal with Canada in 2015 Olympics, and he still looks like a young kid, man. He still looks good. So, Big Danny, hats off to you, baby. Thank you for being on our show, man.
Thank you for coming on, man. So, Danny, like Brown says, there's a lot to ask and discuss and get into the story. So let's take it the beginning with you. What made you get into hockey in the beginning, man?
Pretty simple. Canadian boys, I would say, I don't have statistics in front of me to prove it, but I would say 9 out of 10 boys get pushed into hockey. We don't, basketball, baseball, all those other soccer, all those other sports, You'll have some kids that do it, but I would say 9 out of 10 boys will end up playing hockey. More women now, or girls, I guess, a little bit more than when I first started. But at some point, you'll play hockey in your life, and obviously the winters are long and cold up there or down there, up there. And I started skating at 6, which in today's world, kids are skating at 3 and 4. But I started skating at 6, and I think I was playing by the time I was 7.
Wow. I haven't skated. I'm scared to skate on ice skates, dude. I can't do that shit. I give you props on that, man. I'll bust my ass. I can't do it, bro. Can't do it. You, Brandon, you can skate?
I can't skate worth a shit.
Well, we're fucking Latinos. Latinos don't fuck with ice.
That's right.
There's not too many Latinos in the NHL.
I can't think of one unless they married into the wrong family or they were adopted.
Yeah. I can't. I don't know. God, I don't know.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
Well, that's some good stuff there. So let's get into a little bit of your career. You didn't get drafted, right? Or did you get drafted?
No, I didn't. That's a podcast in itself. It's kind of a long story, but I went to a school. I went and played college hockey. I was told when I was young that I was never going to make it. It had nothing to do with my skill. In hockey, especially back then, not so much anymore. Size was a huge deal. It'd be like a quarterback who was 5'7". Not too many NFL teams are going to want that. Now you see a couple of guys, Russell Wilson and the kid in Arizona, Murray, that are changing that. But so I was a defenseman. I was about 5'10", 10 and a half, and I was just told I'm never going to make it. So decided to go to college. Figured I'd get an education out of it. Never thinking in a million years I would get anywhere. Got to college, kind of blew up, and was runner up for best. I won best defenseman in college. All of college, I was runner up for the equivalent of the Heisman in hockey or college hockey is called Hobie Baker. Was the runner up for a couple of years. So I don't like toot my own horn, but you could say that I was arguably one of the top 3 best players in college hockey. And year after year, I was getting passed over. There were players that were nowhere near as good as me getting drafted. And it sucked. It was tough, really tough on me physically and mentally, I should say. And I just kind of succumbed to the idea that I wasn't ever going to play in the NHL. And then my last year, at the risk of this being too long, there was I went to school called Miami, Ohio, and the golf instructor was also a part-time NHL scout. And then he's the one that begged and pleaded the Florida Panthers to sign me. And while other players were signing for huge bonuses and stuff, I think I got a box of Cracker Jacks and, like a bag of golf balls. Literally got nothing to sign. But that was my foot in the door, and right. That's kind of how it started. From there, there's a bunch of different twists and turns. But if it wasn't for Bill Davidge, who was the golf golf coach at Miami, Ohio, I don't know that I'd be sitting here today.
And let me tell you, man, hell of a story. But let me tell you, don't knock yourself down, man, because I'm looking at your career, man. You had a couple of brawls. I'm going to talk about that. I'm looking at a couple of brawls that you've been in the game with, Corey Perry and Derek Bradshaw. So we'll get into that. But hey, man, you didn't have an easy ride though. You had a pretty tough ride going into the NHL. So hats off to you, man. Hats off to you, Brandon. You got anything you want to add?
I mean, I'm just amazed.
Amazed, right? Stunned with for a guy, that's like an all-American dream, even for us Latinos. You know what I mean? To not be drafted and just find your way in the door is a great opportunity. Let me tell you that. That's a great opportunity. It's a dream come true. And then to get, like you said, Cracker Jacks on it. You know what I mean? That's okay. Hey, that's okay, because you know what?
Yeah.
You're in there to prove yourself worthy that you can. You're what, 5'11" perhaps, right? I read something about 5'11".
That's what I used to say. I'm like 5'10", but I had to lie about that just to get myself closer to the 6 foot. So
You know, hey,
I
maybe with those
lied,
skis.
but yeah,
Maybe with the skis,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So you
yeah.
know,
No, I mean, yeah,
you put a hell of a show. And, you know, you for us Latinos, it's a good opportunity, and you had a good opportunity. You put your foot through that door, and you prove to the world that you can do it. You know what I mean, and to yourself. So you know, hats off to you, man. I commend you.
yeah. Thank you very much.
Well, and let me tell you a little bit else about this cat right here. And most hockey players are great golfers, and this kid's a good golfer, man. This guy smashes the ball, and we at one point for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, we were playing once a week. We were out just teeing it up and having a blast, and we're still got a lot more to go do. But man, he can smash that ball, man. Danny can smash. We need to get him on a pro-am tour, man, because
Yeah.
I know we can do it. I'll be his caddy, but shit, my knees are bad, but I might have to figure something out, man. But yeah, he hits the ball good, man. So that's his new passion, right, Danny? That's
Yeah.
one of his new passions.
Yeah, I've always loved golf, and a lot of athletes, you know, baseball players and hockey players in the summertime. Well, at least for the hockey players, summertime. Yeah, we're out there playing golf as much as we can. The hand-eye coordination is there, and I just love being out in the wild, I guess, so to speak. I mean, it's not necessarily the wild, but it's just beautiful. I love to be out there for 4 hours shooting the shit with buddies, and as you know, I'm a competitive motherfucker, and that's at the end of the day. I need to get my my share. It doesn't matter if I'm playing for $5 or $500. I just gets my juices flowing. And, that's one of the other reasons why I did make it. I had thick skin. I refused every time someone said no. I refused to accept that, and I just battled, and I do it to this day, whether it's on the course or even with my kids playing in the backyard. I just can't help myself.
That's good.
I'm the same.
You're a young cat, man. I mean,
He
you should
is,
be
he
you should
is.
be able to do all those fun things, man. I mean,
And let me tell you another thing about this cat. This guy right here made a good living. We go play golf. This guy's got clubs that he's never cleaned. They're probably 15 years old,
That's true.
and then he still smashes that ball. And I tell him, "Hey man, aren't you gonna get some new clubs?" Nah, Mom, I like these clubs. At least clean the goddamn things. God damn it, those things are old as shit. I'm all fuck. Here I am trying to hit a ball. And I'm just cleaning my club. Danny just grabs his shit and goes up and whoosh, just hits the ball, man. It's cool, man. That's how humble of a cat he is, man. He's just a good down to earth cat, man. And we have some battles, man. He hates it when he loses $1. Trust me. He hates it, man. When we collect $1, he's like, "You goddamn Mexicans taking my money."
Fucking cabrons. Bunch of
Cabrons. We got a good group of guys we play with, and Danny's fits right in like a glove. And I'll tell you a funny story how me and Danny even came to become friends and good friends. If he needs anything, he knows he can call me. I ran into a quick story, and I'll make it quick. I was at the Super Bowl when the 49ers lost to Kansas City, and we Ubered from South Beach to the stadium, the Miami Stadium, and we're leaving the Miami Stadium and jumping on an Uber, and the Uber price went to $600.
wow.
To go from the stadium to South Beach where we were staying at. It was ridiculous, but it was.
Brandon's like, I'll rather walk.
Well, here's the funny.
$40. I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing. We started to walk. We're like, fuck, we'll just walk about 2 miles, and we could probably catch another Uber and get out. Well, long story short, we're walking, and all of a sudden this window goes bzzz in this fucking car, and they go, "Hey, where are you going?" I said, "We're going to South Beach." And 2 guys go, "Hey, get in. We'll split the bill." And we thought, fuck, we got to get back. I mean, you can imagine a Super Bowl, 70,000 people. It's a fucking madhouse, and we got to get out of there. And we want to get back to, we were staying at the Clevelander, wild place. That's another podcast. And anyways, we jump in the car with these 2 cats. One of them's name is Jeff. And I won't get into their full names, but Jeff. And the other guy was Matt. Jeff and Matt. So we jump in this car. There's 3 of us, and we're laughing and we're talking. We're like, dude, who would have ever thought? Jeff and Matt said, and they're 2 white guys. Who would ever thought we'd let a bunch of Mexicans in our car and we're driving to South Beach? So we're laughing our asses off, and we became me and Matt and Jeff became really, really good friends. I took him into the Cleveland. I got him in the back door. We were partying all night, and Fat Joe and 50 Cent. We were out there singing, and we're drinking and laughing. So long story short, we ended up meeting, swapping numbers, and then me and Jeff were chopping it up, and Jeff goes, "I got a buddy in San Jose. You're gonna like him." He goes, "You like hockey?" I go, "Yeah, I like hockey. I'm a little bit about it." He goes, "You know a guy named Dan Boyle?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've heard of the name." And he goes, "I'm setting you up with that guy." So he did. He put me in connection with Dan. I met Dan. I over the phone, we're chopping it up, laughing and talking a little bit. And I said, "Hey, let's go play Calipe in the Bay Area." And he ended up driving out. Dude, we didn't know anybody. I didn't know what the dude. I knew what he looked like because I Googled it, but he had no fucking clue who I was. He probably goes, "That's a fucking guy cutting the lawn. What the fuck's he doing with golf clubs?"
He probably still doesn't know who you
I
are.
know, he probably doesn't. Hey, long story short, man, we hit it off. Yeah, we hit it off, and we've been playing golf ever since. We talk every now and then. Every now he's got to run back to Canada. "Hey, cabron, what are you doing?" So really good dude, man. So I didn't mean to take too much on the story, but that's how we met, and we've been good friends ever since. So we've gone out to dinner and did a few things together. But really good dude, man. Yeah, really good. I just thought I'd share that with everybody.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I want to ask Dan, your amazing ride through the NHL. So you started out with
Florida Panthers.
the Panthers, and then tell us a little bit of
Florida,
that.
yeah.
How did that go?
Well, like I said, so I got my foot in the door. At the risk of this being a 2-hour long story, I ended up starting in the minor leagues, as most players do. Played about half a season in the minors and tore it up, really. I was named to the All-Star team, leading the league in points for defensemen. Came out of nowhere. No one expected me to do anything. And Florida calls me up. I don't think they expected it either. I don't even know if they knew who I was, to be honest with you. And they called me up. I ended up playing the whole half of the season. ESPN had an article on me back in the day, unsung hero, and all this good stuff. And so I was there for 4 years, but unfortunately, the following year and a couple of years after, back to the size thing, I wasn't playing a lot, and the GM flat out told me to my face, "We need size. We're going with size." So it'd be like a running back who's real good, and he's 5'5" and 185 pounds. Teams don't want that, or a quarterback that's too short. So there was literally nothing I can do. I can get better on the ice, but I can't grow, and I can't I can't grow when I'm 21 years old.
What's the deal? What's the deal with the height, though? I mean, you proved to him.
It's just, I know. Well, it took time. It's just one of those things where it's old school mentality where they just think a certain person has to look a certain way in order to be good versus looking at product on the ice. To me, it makes no sense at all, but that's just the way these guys were, the old school guys were wired. Is you want a defenseman, he's got to be 6'2" or over, and this is just the way it is. So I was there for 4 years, kind of in and out of the lineup. Obviously I'm thankful and grateful for the opportunity, but wasn't, the best experience I could have had. And then shortly after that, I get traded. Now there's 30 teams in the league at that time, and I get traded of all places 3 hours down the road to a team called Tampa Bay Lightning, who were the worst place or the worst team in the league at the time. So got there, and for me, it was like, okay, if I keep playing the way that the coaches want me to play, that's another long story, but I was kind of playing the way that they are asking me to play. And it was going okay, not great, not bad, just kind of okay. And when I got to Tampa, I made a decision. Either I'm going to play my fucking way or I'm going to be out of the league regardless, one way or another. So got to Tampa, they were out of the playoffs, played the half the season there, played my game the way that I've always wanted to play, and boom. And then that's when it started. That's kind of when my career took off, where I went from a player who was almost out of the league to fast forward to a couple of years later, I was leading the league in ice time. Again, I hate talking about myself, but I know I have to do it. But you name it. I was doing it. I was at the top of the league, and it was just such a surreal turn from being literally jobless, doing God knows what, to all of a sudden being one of the best defensemen in the NHL. So it was a pretty freaking wicked turnaround.
And 18 years, that's a long,
unheard of.
that's
Unheard
like
of.
a really long fucking time, bro. I think you retired.
Yeah.
You wind up retiring what, 2013 or something? 14? Was it that?
I could be wrong. 16. It was about
16.
4 or
Yeah.
5 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, wow, man, that's a
Yeah, no,
long-
there's So I mean, people always ask me what's the average. It's so skewed because so many players come in and they play like 1 or 2 years. So I think the average is like 2 years. But if you're a decent player and you play 10 years, that's a respectable career. If you play 15, that's pretty good. Anything above that is, you're talking about like 10%. You got guys right now like Marlowe and Thornton who are playing 20 plus years, which that is really insane. But if you can get anywhere north of 10, 15, it's a pretty lengthy time, because I love the NFL. They play hard, and we went to a game last week, but if you look at the times played in a football game, it's 11 minutes. There's 11 minutes of action. You split it between defense and offense, you're talking about 5.5 minutes on each side. So we're playing 25, 26, 27 minutes of bang crash hockey, and we're playing 82 games a year plus playoffs. You're talking over 100 games a year. So the wear and tear on the body is really hard, and that's why a lot of guys can't last a long time, because it's just too much of a grind. So I was fortunate. I was a little smaller, I was a little quicker, and I think that was actually to my benefit versus what it did for my career early on, which was not get me anything. But I had to be. If I'm going in the corner with a guy who's 6'6", 250, well, guess what? I better fucking wake up and know what's going on, or my ass is gonna be lights out. So I just learned to play my way and be a little quicker than those guys, maybe a little smarter. And 18 freaking years later, man.
That's the Canadian blood in you, huh? Is that the Canadian blood in you, brother?
Yeah. I mean, and the Canadian blood. I mean, the underdog blood. The
right.
You call it. I've always had a chip on my shoulder, and that was a huge part of me. I was never satisfied. It didn't matter what I did that night. I'm a perfectionist. I would always come home, watch my clips. I always wanted to get better and be better, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why I lasted so long.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome,
and to go with his accolades, a little research. Top 100 NHL players. Big Danny's 57.
Look at that, dude.
That's of all time. That's all time.
I'll take that.
Top 100. He's at 57. Yeah. And he's got his teeth.
And he's got his teeth. Really, man.
That's his grill, man.
That's the real winner.
Winner.
Shit.
That's a winner, dog. To be on the best show out in the airwaves right now.
That's right.
Win-win, baby.
So you went on to winning the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So you said you ended up with your career being at the New York Rangers.
New York.
That's over at Brandon's facility over there.
Yeah.
I'm from New York. I'm born in New York.
Okay.
And came out to Cali, back in the late '80s. And you're just probably a year older than me. I was looking at it. I was like, yeah, this guy's a year older.
45. Yeah, I just turned.
Yeah, but you look more prettier than I do. But
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
So you get to the Stanley Cup. That came when? That wasn't with the Rangers, was it?
That was 2004. 2004. So the second year, it was the whole thing was amazing. I get to Tampa. They're the worst placed team in the league. The next year we make the playoffs, and then the year after that we win the cup. So just an amazing turnaround for a team, for the fan base, it was awesome. And so I played there for 6 years, 5 years. Get traded to San Jose, played here 6 years, fell in love with it. Obviously, still live here, and finished my career with 2 years in New York playing for the Rangers.
Nice, that's nice, man. I mean, that's breathtaking, dude. I can't. It's just breathtaking, man. Well, you sound then like a competitive person, though. I could hear it in your voice. You're like, fuck this. I'm going after this, man.
Yeah, he's an asshole. He's an
That's not
asshole.
an
Yeah,
asshole. I mean, I think it's just more that he wants it bad, man. Hey,
He
Big
does.
Brown
Yeah.
ain't
card
nothing wrong with
loser.
that because you really want it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Brown
No,
card
I
loser.
do. Yeah. Not everybody's cut from the same cloth. Not everybody's like
Right.
that. Not everybody needs to be like that. I just am. I don't know where
Yeah.
it comes from. I'm sure there's some sort of I don't know. I don't know if it's genetic or what, but ever since I was as young as I can remember, it didn't matter what I was doing.
Yeah.
I could have been playing marbles in the back, in kindergarten with some buddies, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is or why it is, but I always had this competitive thirst, and I love it. And you have to surround yourself with friends that can handle it, and thankfully I do, because otherwise it could be pretty fucking annoying for them.
No, he's a good dude, man. He gets over that ball, and he'll hit a ball, and if it doesn't go right, he'll fucking take like 5 or 6 practice swings. Motherfucking, it didn't come over the top, and he'll fucking hit. And the next thing you know, he's back on track. He shoots in the 70s, man. The guy's a great golfer. He's getting down to the single. What's your handicap now? What are you, about a 6?
Well, I played real well yesterday, and I haven't looked at it today. I was at 6 yesterday, but it changes every day now. I would imagine I'll be in the 5s somewhere, because I played really
love
well
it.
yesterday.
Now, do
I
you
get
guys-
some strokes.
You guys do. Well, I know Brown. Brown's talked about he's been in a couple tournaments. You've been into tournaments too, I'm guessing, right?
Danny
Yeah,
does a
whenever
lot.
whenever I get asked, that's one thing I do. I do like to, at the risk of this getting a little serious, charity, that's giving back. And if it's giving back my time and going to a freaking golf tournament, that's so easy for me. And so I try to, whenever I get asked to do any sort of golf tournament, I will try to join if I'm not doing anything. So that's kind of what I've been doing obviously COVID's had some say in that, but I try to, get some tournaments in as much as I can, and try to give back in any way I can. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. So I'm looking at this. I don't know if I could broadcast this, but I'm looking at this little brawl you had. And
a little what?
a little brawl.
Oh, brawl.
Yeah,
Oh, fight. Yeah, like a
Yeah,
fight.
man.
A
You
fight,
got a little box down here, man. Let me see you share this with you guys, man. There we go.
That's part of the game. Obviously, I don't know that all the. Oh shit! What happened here?
All that
Oh, okay.
No, if you
They're
click,
putting up for people to watch it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know who's listening
Let's
or
go.
if they watch hockey at all. But fighting is part of the sport, and usually it's sort of they're trying to extinguish it right now by having less youth. Back in the day, used to have like a few enforcers on every team. That was kind of their job. Those guys are going away. For me, again, trying to break into the league, I had to show that I was tough, and I'm not the strongest, and I'm certainly not the biggest, obviously, but I went through I think I went through like 3-4 years there where if I got challenged or somebody pissed me off, I was trying to show that I could hang. And obviously I knew I was fighting. I wasn't fighting the big guys or I would have gotten killed. That would have not have been good, but I probably have 12 to 13 fights, I think, and
Wow.
I did pretty well in all. I did pretty well in all of them because I kind of knew who I was fighting. Like I said, you don't fight Mike Tyson in his prime when you know he's going to literally eat you alive. So,
But it's like what 80% of the fans going there, they want to see a freaking fight. You know what I mean?
I know. It's what I like about it is when a fight breaks out, when it's authentic. I think when two guys are pissed and they just go at it, I have no problem with that. I think what I don't like is kind of the ones that are orchestrated, the ones that where guys kind of ask each other to go and it's more theatrical, and that's, to me, that's a little funky, but you're right. I mean, the reasons why those guys do it is to fire up the crowd. So I've had tons of games where, hey, it's 0-0, we're halfway through, the crowd's sleeping, we're sleeping, there's no noise. Well, two guys go at it, all of a sudden, boom, energy in the building, the game changes, all of a sudden.
Wow.
I mean, that's why I think in hockey we have that. I mean, if I could see two football players just take the helmets off and go toe to toe at the 50-yard line, I would love it. I would love it. And I don't like basketball. I don't watch basketball. And I guess this is maybe my knock on basketball. But if you can have two guys that are fouling each other and go at it, I would love it. I would watch that. So, I think it's part of the sport that we know we're getting into when we sign up for it. But I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think most of the fans want to see it.
Yeah.
You got
The old-
Vince Montes over here.
This is drop gloves, missing teeth, best part of hockey.
Well, I don't know about the missing teeth, but you're right. I mean, I think, like I said, I've been SAP 1,000 times, and sometimes if it gets a little quiet, two guys go at it, all of a sudden, boom, the energy's back in the building. Guys are fired up, fires up the bench, fires up your teammates. You got one of your buddies going in there bleeding, fighting. It fires everybody up, and as long as nobody gets seriously hurt, I think that's okay.
Well, what do you mean seriously hurt? What the hell you mean?
Well,
seriously?
I mean,
some of these dudes get hurt. These dudes are bleeding.
Well, you're gonna get hurt. Well, I guess what I mean by that, I think there's a code between guys. If guys punch someone and the guy's down and he's not going to protect himself, unlike the UFC where the ref has to stand in and that's where that's what I mean by. You never say never because there is some, clown here and there that won't. But for the most part, if a guy's down and out, the guys will stop, wailing them. So that's kind of what I mean. You go toe to toe, one guy goes down. Usually the fight ends pretty soon after that.
So let me ask you, any broken bones?
A ton. You name it. I've been fortunate. I didn't have the injuries in hockey or the knees, the shoulders, the groins. Those are the ones that kill but you name it. Every toe, my foot, my feet, my hands, my fingers, clavicle, ribs, ton of those, ton of scars all over my face, but never once. I don't know what the hell, man. Especially one time I took a puck in the mouth where I immediately took my glove off, I thought I was going to be fishing for 4 or 5 teeth, and sure as shit, I did not lose a tooth. I just had a big thing of blood and spit it out. I was very fortunate, so I think I got a tough jaw.
Say what? A puck in your mouth and you just walk away like nothing?
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm using technical terms that you may not know what the fuck I'm talking about. But the guy iced the puck. Puck ramps up another guy's stick, just deflects right into my mouth. Pucks are going. Slap shots are 80, 90 miles an hour. I don't know if you've ever been hit by a puck. It doesn't feel good, and
they're heavy.
For whatever reason, it I guess you can say it hit the right spot because it hit me here. But if it had hit me here, maybe it crushes my jaw. If it hits me here, I saved myself. And that was the one time where I thought, I got lucky. And then the other one, you guys probably can't see it, but I got a really badass scar here.
You can see it.
A guy cross-checks me in the face. So I go down. I had like 13 stitches or whatever. So the next, so I had no visor, right? Back in the day, we didn't have to wear a visor. So next game, my eyes like the size of a freaking pool table ball, and I still played. I put a visor just temporarily, just to protect myself, and I ended up taking a puck in the visor that game. So it was like when you talk about meant to be or whatever. Had I not had that visor, who the hell knows? But I had the visor, hits me in the visor, cracks my visor, saves my eyes. From that day on, I wore a visor for 18 years, so never took it off again.
Rude awakening, man. Shit.
Oh yeah. Because it's now they're making it mandatory for guys coming in the league to wear the visor, but back then it was your choice, and I was like the other idiots. I wasn't wearing one because it was like a macho thing, but after that, I was like, fuck it. You can call me a pussy if you want. I'm going to protect my eyes.
Hey, the other thing I see a lot is guys getting hit with sticks. Man, that's a tough one, I bet, huh?
Yeah.
Or they whack them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it is a weapon. I mean, and referees do the best that they can, but there's only 3 of them and fucking 10 guys at a time on the ice. There's a lot of stuff you can do behind the scenes or in a scrum that guys won't see. And
all right, give us some scoop. What would you use to? What was your go-to?
You name it. Well, I mean, you can use the end of the stick. It's called the butt end. Cross check, spear, slash, you name it. You just have to do it when the ref's not looking, and hopefully you don't get caught, basically.
Shit, that's
So-
funny, man.
So let's talk about this adventure ride to the Stanley Cup. You know, I'm sure that was an amazing moment for yourself, man. You achieved,
Yeah, like I
as
said,
far as you started out with the foot in the door, not drafted, and you worked your way up to the Stanley Cup, dude. That's a hell of a fucking improvement. That's a hell of a fucking everything.
yeah.
Dude.
Like I said, I went from just, first of all, getting into the NHL was a dream come true, I guess. And then I went from, okay, I got to where I want to get to, but it's not going the way I wanted to. So I'm almost out of the league. And within 2 years, I win the Stanley Cup. So it was a surreal turnaround of events, from making it, the high of making it, the low of it just not going the way that I wanted it to almost being out of the league again, to getting traded. And then all of a sudden I'm, top 3 in the league in ice time, and, top 5 in points. And then next thing you know, we win the frickin' cup in Tampa, it was just a crazy, surreal couple of years of just lows and highs, and just, it was awesome. I mean, it was an absolutely amazing thing. And then you get to share. And the thing with the cup is every player, you guys probably know this, even as Latinos, so with the cup, every NHL player gets the cup for 24 hours. So maybe you didn't know that, but
I didn't.
so in the summer, the cup gets to travel with every player gets it for 24 hours. And if that cup could talk, the shit that it would say would be absolutely insane. And so they only disallow 2 things for whatever reason, that you can't go in a strip joint with it, and you can't go in a casino with it. Now, why that makes sense, I don't know, but everything else is you name it, from babies being baptized in it to XXXX rated stuff. If that cup could talk. So, but the best part is, especially in Canada, they call it the Holy Grail, and it's that's what it is. I got to have it in my hometown, did a bunch of shit with it, and you bring that thing out, and people just like, they worship it, and it's absolutely insane. And you get to share that with your family. I mean, to get to share that with my dad, my mom, and my brother. Those are moments you can't. You can't even imagine.
All right, like I said, for a Latino, that's a dream come true, buddy.
Oh, dude, that's like that Ruiz Mexican winning the heavyweight title. Nobody thought he had a chance, and he knocked that dude out. So let me ask you this, Danny.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you got the call to play for Team Canada?
Yeah. So there's, again, at the risk of this being too boring and long, so in 2006 in Torino, I was leading the league in points for a defenseman at the time, and I get a call from Wayne Gretzky, and I'm thinking, first of all, I didn't think it was him. That's the funny part of the story. I was like, "Fuck you," shut the fuck up. I thought it was one of my buddies, and sure enough, it wasn't. And so that's the first part. But so he tells me I'm on the Olympic team, but then he goes on to say, as an extra. So you have to basically, you put a team together, and then there are 3 extra players in case guys get hurt. So I talk about going from a high to a low, where holy fuck, I made the Olympic team, to shit, I'm an extra. So that was crushing. I didn't want to go. My dad kind of convinced me that I have to do it. I think I had to he said, put your ego aside. You should be thankful and grateful you got chosen. And that's what I did. And so I went. The team didn't do real well. Canada does well every Olympic season. And I believe that year they finished 8th or 9th, which was absolutely unheard of in Canada. So 2010 comes around, get another call that day. And the first thing he says, it was the GM. He says, Dan, you made the Olympic team, and you're going to be on it this year. We're not going to fuck it up again, or something like that, to make me laugh. And so it was just, again, another awesome feeling. I had a couple of my San Jose teammates, Thornton, Marlowe, and Heatley as well. And then the last thing is it was in Vancouver. It was in our home country, on our home soil.
Nice.
And you want to talk about pressure? You know, that's there's 33 million people in Canada, and I think they said 29 million people were watching. So you're talking about 95% of your country
Yeah.
supporting you, and anything but gold is a failure. If you come home with the silver, they'll kick you to the curb. So ended up being the most pressure-filled game I've ever been part of, even including the Stanley Cup. And thankfully, we won it. We won it in overtime, which was amazing. And again, celebrating that with your family, but with your fellow Canadians was pretty awesome.
Nice.
There, an ice cream,
Yeah.
an ice cream truck over there.
Oh yeah, that's my little ice cream.
I was just getting ready to say fuck Gretzky, right? That motherfucker pissed me off. He didn't put Danny B in there, baby.
Yeah.
Shit.
So there's been a ton of stories, tons of highs and lows, and it just it carves you into the person you are. And so
No doubt.
all of those things that I went through have made me who I am today, and I'm so appreciative. And now I get to laugh about it and talk about it. But when you're in it, it's a grind. It's a grind, but looking back, it was just pretty surreal and awesome.
Do you miss it? I'm sure you do. You miss
I
it.
miss it. I miss it when I watch the playoffs. I think that's kind of when my juices get flowing. I don't miss the grind of the training camp, and the season is 82 months long, or 82 games long. It's 7 or 8 months, 7 months, I think. Then but the playoffs, the grind, the trying to win the whole thing. That's kind of what I miss. I don't miss the shit. The 6 or 7 months leading up to the playoffs. That's the grind that is very difficult to do over and over again.
But you guys go through a hell of a training process in your training camps.
Yeah, it's and again, going back to the old timers, guys that used to smoke and show up the day of training camp to get in shape. In today's game, if you don't show up in shape, you're gone.
Wow.
So once the season's done, I used to take a month off, maybe 3 weeks off, do nothing. And then you're in the gym again, and you're in the gym 2 hours, then you got to run. And it's just, so, out of 12 months, you're basically getting 1 month maximum off. The other 11, you're grinding it out one way or another. And if you don't, and now with the testing they do in camp, you show up, they hook you up to machines and get you on treadmills and get you doing this, that, and the other thing. Guys are puking left, right, and center. They just don't accept what they used to back in the day, which was guys showing up. What's up, boys? How was your summer?
Right.
Smoking a stogie out.
15, 20 pounds overweight. Hey, boys, how you doing? There's none of that now. Guys come into camp shredded, in perfect condition, and but it's a fucking grind. It is a fucking grind.
So the difference between then and now, it actually is a huge difference now.
Huge change.
With all the technology too, and all the competitiveness out there, and not just that. I mean, like you said, in training camps, that sort of reminds me of when the Rocky movie, when he's facing the Russian and he goes to Russia.
The time
all
is
these
5:00
Dude,
p.m.
That's intense, bro. That's intense.
Yeah, they have the VO2 max. I don't know if they still do it today. I think they do. So we're hockey players, right? We're supposed to be able to skate. Well, they put you on a treadmill. They put you with this fucking mask where you cannot breathe. Your nose is clogged. You got a tube sticking out of your mouth. You got shit all over your body. And then they just set the thing to I forget what it is. And then you run, and then you run again, and then they just crank it up and crank it up and crank it up and crank it up. You got people yelling at you. You got doctors around you, and then you just got to go, and you're just.
Is that just for your endurance, or to see how long
it measures something called the VO2 max. I guess it's like a lung.
It just sounds like some kind of fucking. You're going to space camp or some shit.
It's a lung measurement device. I don't really know what the fuck it does, but apparently they like it, and a lot of teams do it. And it was awful. I mean, it was claustrophobic. It was fucking exhausting. I mean, you dreaded it. The night before. You couldn't sleep because it was just. Again, I don't know if they still do it now, but the VO2 max was definitely something that I fucking couldn't stand.
So let me ask. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to ask you if there's anything you would change or go back to and change. What would it be? You know, in your hockey career. I mean, to make it.
A lot of guys are late bloomers. A lot of guys can go back and say, "I wish I would have worked on my shot more. I wish I could have, worked on my skating more." There's nothing I could have done differently. I put in all the work I needed to. I was as good as I could be. So there's not much.
Not as tall, but as good as you could be.
If there was a pill that would have, given me another 4 or 5 inches, I would have taken it. But there's nothing I could really do. I put in all the effort I could. I did everything that I could, and at the end of the day, not everybody's stories turn out like mine. I'm fortunate that I stuck around long enough to get that opportunity, and I'm just so fucking grateful and thankful.
And I'll add another thing to that. This cat's still in great shape, man. This fucking he is. He's in good shape. This guy will take his shirt off and he's in good shape, man. He's in good and that no. I'm just saying. I mean, most athletes that they stop playing, they get a little soft.
Right.
Yeah,
this cat's not soft.
Yeah,
he's not soft. I mean,
they call it what do they call it? The retirement 15 or something. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that I've seen, they retire and they just, blow up. And I told myself I wasn't going to work out for a year when I retired. And I think I gained about 10 pounds and I was like, no way. So I ended up taking like 3 months. It was like 3 months. And I was like, this is not going to work out for me. And so I run, I work out. I actually enjoy it now. I do it at my own pace, and I'm actually enjoying it. And hopefully I get to live a healthier second half of my life. That's what I'm hoping. Anyways.
You say you work out yourself? On your own schedule? Do you hire like your own personal trainer to help you out, with certain things?
I hire the Latino gentleman over here in the corner.
The gardener. You mean the gardener?
That's her right there. This guy right here. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm his motivation. He looks at me and goes, "Fuck that! I'm working out."
Oh yeah. This guy brings me to Chuck E. Cheese and all these fast food restaurants, and I look at him and I go,
"The fuck's Jack in the Box?"
Oh yeah, that's right, the Jack in the Box. At the Niners game, you get free Jack in the Box, and he's like, "Let's fucking go, man!" I was like.
and Jack we're at the Niner game and they scored 2 touchdowns and they go, "All right, everybody, free jumbo jacks on the 49ers." And Dan's all, I'm all, "Dude, we get fucking jumbo jacks." He's all,
"Let's go."
The fuck is that?
I didn't know what a jumbo jack was, but now I do.
Oh shit! No, that's good, man.
In good shape. That's good.
Shape, oh yeah, he's in good shape, man. He's a good dude, man. I enjoy his company. We have a blast. We like we're doing now. We laugh like that. We go play golf. So he's a good down to earth cat. So
I might be flying out to San Jose, visit Brown, and hopefully we could hook up and play some golf. I've never played golf in my life.
Oh shit! You don't want to play with me and Dan.
But hey, I got a good swing. I play baseball, so I got a good swing.
Listen, we hear that on me and Danny. If someone doesn't play golf good, we're like, "What the fuck, dude? Who invited this fucking guy?" Yeah. So we only play with guys that are good, and I'm the worst out of all his buddies. So we have a good time.
Watch you guys play shit. So listen, it's great to have you on the show. I definitely appreciate you coming out, man. I hope you come out another time. Brandon Brown, appreciate it. You guys tune in to next show on Tuesday. We're back to regular schedule. And again, Dan Boyle, everybody. Dan motherfucking Boyle in the house. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
The Canadian gringo. But he's got some competitive moves, and he can do it all, baby. If he can do it.
Canadian pendejo.
That's right. But you guys, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, like if you like it. And join us in next Tuesday on, we don't know what's coming on, but I'll keep in tune. We'll let you guys know. Appreciate it, guys. Take care and have a good weekend.
All right.
All right, cool.